welcome everybody to this week's Forex Market Preview. Hope everybody out there had a great week last week. So we're going to go back, we're going to revisit this Aussie. As you guys can see, I was looking for it to move up a little bit. It moved up a little bit, but it really came down and made some new lows, which I still like very, very much. I was able to make a little bit of money on it, but not necessarily as much as I have in the past few weeks. But nonetheless, we'll go ahead and we're going to review some of the levels and areas that we need to watch in some of these Aussie pairs. But before we do so, let's take a look at this gold chart. For those of you, you've probably seen the news and everything, gold breaking down. Well, you can kind of see we had a support line right around here. We came down to it right up in this level, and price bounced just a little bit, but look what it was doing. Price has been making lower highs, right? We start rolling over, and I knew we were going to break this level. Now, once we started breaking it, we broke pretty significantly. Gold dropped over $100 per ounce, and just last week, or right around $100 per ounce last week. And then on Friday, it made a new low, and then it bounced up a little bit, closing near the high. So I kind of like this. I like this actually a lot. So what kind of bearings does this have for us, or why does this matter? Well, a lot of times when gold's moving up or gold's moving down, the Australian dollars kind of follows, kind of closely to us, not tick for tick or anything like that, but if gold can catch a rally up to here, there's a good chance we can see this Aussie dollar rally. So let's go take a look at this Aussie dollar USD pair. So just on last, I think the 21st was the end of the week. We had a little rally coming up, and me and my buddy that I trade with all the time, we were talking about this as price was moving up. We weren't really getting any conviction to the upside. And what do I mean by conviction? I mean, how price moved up over here. You get a wide bar. Yes, price moved back down, but all these bars were pretty tight range and not really moving up and not really closing near the highs. Okay. When bars are closing near the highs, and typically we're going to get a little bit of a thrust upward. Well, we failed to do that, and we actually made a new low on Friday. The Australian dollar got smacked by about 134 pips, closing lower than where it was last Friday. Now, from the close last Friday up until the high, it moved up about 128 pips. Now, we played a little bit long, a little bit short. But, all in all, this didn't move as much as I was really expecting last week. Now, one of the levels that I'm first going to key in on, if we can catch a nice little bounce, if we can get something in Asia trying to set up come Sunday night, is I'm going to look for a little bit of a reversal pattern on a 15 or 60-minute chart possibly. I'm going to try to take this up to the 94 level. At that area, I'm going to look to scale out on my position and see if I can get possibly run up to 96, maybe 98. I think 98 might be stretching it right now, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. MACD is extremely oversold, and you can see we're actually forming divergence. So right around this level, MACD made a low. Price comes down, makes a new low. MACD makes a higher low. Price comes down, makes another new low, and it's roughly around the same area. It might be a little bit lower, but Friday's bar, MACD is definitely higher than it was over here at this low. So we have several divergences forming in this MACD, and it would just make sense for us to get some kind of bounce, work off a little bit of this oversold level. And I do think that this is ultimately going to go lower, but I think it provides a great opportunity for us to make a little bit of money on the long side. We just got to get this thing, trying to move up off this bottom a little bit. Now, another pair that I just briefly touched on last week, I said it could get a little bit of action in it, was this Euro Australian dollar. Now, if you're looking at this, you could see a potential pattern setting up before it actually forms. Now, MACD is starting to roll over finally, and it's from, kind of a little overbought level and starting to roll over. But we could be setting up a head and shoulders pattern. And here would be one shoulder over here. This would be the head, and we have to form some kind of shoulder pattern over here to try to make, a move downward. Now, as far as for a move downward, what I'd want to do is pull my Fibonacci retracement from the swing low up to the swing high. Now, the 38% retracement is right around the 135 level. An area that I'm personally going to be watching is going to be right around this 136 to 137 level is where I'm going to be looking if this does indeed start to roll over and give us an opportunity. Right now, there's no opportunity just yet. This is a pair we need to wait a little bit longer on before we can actually take a trade. Another thing that we might want to do is go ahead. ABC ABC extension A to B equals C to D. Now, you can see the 100% is going to take us to 137.70s, and the 127 would take us right around the 136.50s, we'll call it. Well, another thing that we can do is pull for an external Fibonacci retracement. We're going to do the last swing low up to the high, and you can see the 127s. We have two 127 levels right around this 136.50 level. So, I'm really going to be watching this 137 to 136 price level. Price will usually, even if this is going to be a big bullish move upward, right? Price will typically at least come down to a 38% retracement right down here. Now, it doesn't mean that price isn't going to come up, make a new high, and if price does come up here and make a new high, we do need to adjust our Fibonacci retracement level from the overall move, where we're going to be looking for this 38% retracement to come in. So, you definitely want to keep that in mind, okay? So if price comes up, makes a new high, we need to adjust our Fibonacci price levels, and we'll have to see where that actually comes into play, if indeed that does take place. Now, let's go ahead and jump into this dollar CAD trade. This is on a weekly chart. Now, dollar CAD has been in a nice little uptrend, and we've had a lot of success playing this dollar CAD. Now, if we go back and let's look at it on a daily chart real quick, you can see last week we had a big run up. Now we're kind of hanging out right around these highs up here. This has been a pretty big move for the dollar CAD. Typically, it's not a huge mover. Another thing that we want to go ahead and do is pull for our Fibonacci extensions, A to B equals C to D pattern. And what you can see with that is right around the 105, we'll call it 105.50s. We've kind of been testing this level. So a little bit of a pullback, wouldn't be a bad thing. It would be actually normal, and also give an opportunity to possibly test out this swing point right up here in this level. That would be, see if we're going to bounce from that level or maybe come down. What I'm hoping is the price will come back down, give me another opportunity to get back into this. Like I said, I've been playing this a lot. This has made me a lot of money over the last month and a half, 2 months or so. And what I'm really hoping, which, I'm hoping the market doesn't take off and run to the upside without me. I'm really hoping that, that we can get a little bit of a pullback. I'm really hoping we'll come down to this 103, but, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this 104 level, may hold it, which is still over 100 pips away from where it is. So if we come down around this 104 and it looks like it wants to bounce, what I may end up doing is putting on a small position, hoping that, price will actually retrace down further, giving me the opportunity to fully build my position and possibly take this up higher. If we look at this on a monthly chart, and I've went over this in the past, let me remove some of these fibs and whatnot. On a monthly chart, you can see we have a high sticking up right here, 106.57. Okay, I really like the price, the constructive price pattern that we've been having. MACD's been, basing out and slowly moving up in a slow, quiet, bullish trend. And what I'd like to see, right, Fibonacci swing high to swing low, is price can make it up to this possibly this 30% retracement, which is the 108 level. So if I can get lucky enough to pick it up around 104, 103, again, maybe this time I'll be able to let some of my profits ride up to this level and maybe see if it wants to, ultimately run higher. I'm not sure that this is going to take off just yet, but it may be later on in the year when interest rates start going up a little bit more. I know they had a huge increase this past week, but we're going to have to wait and see if they come back down a little bit, if they stabilize at this level. But ultimately, the dollar should get stronger over the long term. So this could be a great long-term play. If we can get in early, stay in. Which those of you that know me very well know that I have a hard time staying in something. I kind of lose my attention on a trade, right? Once I've had it for so long, I just want to move on and get into another trade. So it'll be interesting to see if indeed I can actually hold this one for a little bit larger profit potential. All right, guys. Like always, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I look forward to feedback.